Good morning, everyone. This is Leah Dixon in Port Coquitlam, Canada. I am coming to you live this morning for my regular Wednesday morning Facebook Live. And the card today that I'm going to make for you is using the oh, that's really bad lighting. Sorry, guys. There we go. The Under My Umbrella stamp set. So this stamp set is getting low on inventory, but it is still available, and it comes with an awesome punch as well. So with those umbrellas, oh, there we go, nice and reflective, you can punch out both the open and the somewhat closed umbrella. All right, so I'm just going to transition you here over to my desktop, and we'll get started creating. Awesome. Okay. So, hey Janice, glad you found it. So this is the stamp set that we're going to be using, and today I'm going to be working with some of the in colors, the current 2019 to 2021 in colors, and so I've got a piece of Whisper White cardstock here. I know I cannot wait for the catalog. We have a staff meeting at 10:45, and even though it's my day off, I tend to go to those now just so I can see people. And it should end just before the catalog goes live. So excited. So I have a piece of Whisper White cardstock here. It's cut at 4 by 5 1/4. And so that is basically just a little bit smaller than the front of a standard card. And that's the reason why I've got it cut at that size. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get a little bit messy here. I am going to pull in some Seaside Spray ink, and I'm going to grab a roller. So I'm going to use a roller for today's card. So open this up. And with our roller, we want to always be heading just in one direction when we ink up. So I'm just going to roll lightly on here, just all in one direction, trying to get this nice and covered in color. And then on my paper, I'm actually going to start off of my paper and then roll on. And I'm going to roll to about the halfway mark and then roll back again. And this is going to just take a lot of patience and a lot of time. We basically just need to keep adding color here until we've got it to a consistency that we like in terms of the color. So I want mine to actually be quite dark at the bottom, and then we're going to work our way up to it being white at this end. Okay, so it's just a lot of patience. While I do this, I'll just talk to you guys a little bit about what the catalog coming live today means. So today, for demonstrators only, we get to see the catalog online today. It will go live for customers on June 3rd, I believe it is. But this month, if you have a demonstrator, you can contact them to get on their mailing list. We're doing our mailing selector to send the new catalog out. It should arrive mid to late May to customers. So if you don't currently have a demonstrator and would like a catalog, please contact me to find out how you can get one from me. And what that means as well is that today the retiring list will be coming out. And so some of the products that I'm using today are products that we know, well, not know, but we can guess will be retiring. We know that the in colors, the Lovely Lipstick, Grapefruit Grove, Pineapple Punch, Call Me Clover, and Blueberry Bushel will be retiring because those colors, when they brought them out, we were told they were just 2018 to 2020 colors. So those colors, any associated re-inkers, cardstock, DSP, ribbons, you name it, will be retiring. The other thing that we know, well, know kind of, that will be retiring is the amazing 6x6 DSP packs. So these DSP packs. I've got here an in color one and a Regals. These will be retiring. They change the patterns on these every year, and so they retire them. So we know that those will be going. The brights have already sold out. The other colors are still in stock, and so you can grab them. I'm actually going to be using some today on this card, and you'll see how fabulous they are. So those are things that we know will be retiring. We'll also get a list of stamp sets that may be retiring. So out with the old, in with the new, and sometimes we have to say goodbye to favorites, unfortunately. So there we have, I guess this would be called an ombre effect, where I've gone and just rolled that on. So we go from dark to white on our piece of cardstock here. So now that I've got that done, I am actually going to emboss this. So I'm just going to grab, let's see, what do I need? So I'm going to grab my die cutting machine and place that where you guys can actually see it, sort of. I've got my embossing plate, and the folder I'm going to use is the pine planks. So I'll pop that in and roll that through. All right. Yeah, tell me about it. And I know you're one of them, Janice. The lemon lime twist. I think I've given you all my stash now. But that was a favorite color. I will be sad to see that go. And honestly, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do without the lovely lipstick. The lovely lipstick is probably my most used color, and so I'm super sad to see that one going. All right, good morning. I see Alice, Alita, Catherine, you guys have all joined. That's awesome. We're just creating this morning with the Under My Umbrella stamp set. And so I haven't actually done any stamping yet. All we've done here is I used some Seaside spray to create an ombre effect on a piece of Whisper White cardstock, and then I embossed it with the Pine Planks embossing folder. So with that done, this piece is actually going to sit to the side for a few minutes, and I'm going to grab a piece of rich raspberry DSP. So this is those 6x6 designer series paper. So every pack comes with all the colors in a color family, and then, oh, good morning, Val. And then you've got, so like some neat script on one side, this lovely pattern. You've got, oh, what's that called? Argyle on one side, and then we've also got the plaid. Okay, so lots of the 4 patterns in, and then you get every color. You get 2 sheets of each pattern in each color in the packet. So like I was saying, the only one that's sold out so far is the brights. So all the other color patterns are available. This is the Regals that I'm using today with the rich raspberry. So to stamp this, I'm going to be stamping down in the bottom corner of mine. That's just going to make it easier for me when I go to punch this out. So I've got the open umbrella stamp here on a block, and I'm going to ink that up with some Memento Black. I don't want to get too close to the edge, because when I go to cut this out, my punch needs a little bit of corner space. So I'm going to go up a little bit higher and punch that so that the pattern's sitting on the umbrella the way I want it to as well. All right, so it doesn't stand out a ton. That's okay, because we're going to be punching this out and getting the full shape. This is just some lines on here to create some definition. So then I'm going to come in here, line it up, and punch that out. All right, so this is a technique that you can do with anything, and you can do it with punches. You can also do it where you're just fussy cutting, where you stamp right onto a piece of designer paper and then cut out that either whole image or just a part of an image. I've seen it done with some stamp sets where like just, you know, if it's a stamp set of a woman, just having her dress stamped and cut out and then putting the nice dress on her with the pattern, that kind of thing. So we've got our umbrella top. Now I'm just going to grab a scrap piece of Whisper White, and I happen to be using thick Whisper White because this was for something that I needed kind of a sturdier piece for. That's going to work for this as well, so we don't end up with a floppy umbrella handle. So I've just inked up my umbrella handle, and I'm going to pop that on here, just like that. And I can set that off to the side. And got that punch again. So I like using scraps that are larger than what I need, just because it gives me a little handle to hold on to when I'm coming in and trying to do the punching. All right, so there we go. And now the next piece that we need is I'm actually going to get another piece of scrap paper, and I'm going to use our, oh, what are they called? The Stitched So Sweetly dies. So I'm going to use these to cut out the second largest scalloped rectangle. These are unfortunately not orderable right now. We're hoping that they're going to be back in late April, early May, but I guess time will tell on that one. With disruptions both overseas and in the United States now, things are a little bit dicey. So I'm just going to grab some plates. All right. Oh, bring my machine back over again. So I've got here my magnetic platform, a plate, my die. Now when I put this on, oh no, I just got black ink on there. I smudged black ink on my finger. So luckily we're only using one side of this, so I'm just going to flip that over. Now when I put this down, I'm actually going to put it so that the corner's slightly towards my big shot. Otherwise I'm going to create like a speed bump and it's not going to work so well. So this way, with having that corner lead, it should run through pretty smoothly. All right. There we go. Put that out of the way. Okay, so we'll take this out. I know, I was so happy that I got those before they went out. They will come back though, Val, so I'm not worried about that. More I'm stocking up on things like making sure I have all my colors of the DSP, because those are things that once they're gone, they're going to be gone. They're not coming back. All right, so the next thing that we're going to do on today's card is to stamp a sentiment. The sentiment that I have chosen is rain or shine, you're always on my mind. You know, just such a nice sentiment. And right now, with not being able to see people, I'm just finding I'm sending out a lot more happy mail just to let people know, you know, I'm thinking about you, even though we can't see each other. Because not all of my family is super into like doing Zoom calls and stuff. A bunch of them are, but not everyone, so that's okay. All right, so I'm going to bring in my Seaside Spray again, and we're going to stamp some raindrops. All right, so here we go. Make sure they're the right way up, and I'm going to try to kind of stagger them so that it doesn't look like I just took the block straight across. All right, now one more down here. Okay, so there we have it, a bunch of little raindrops on there. I think I'm going to use those raindrops actually on an envelope as well, so I'm just going to grab an envelope and let's stamp some on there as well. Okay, hopefully this video isn't as laggy for you as it looks for me. I'm not loving how this is showing. Okay, so I'm going to put this through like that, and oh, that's hardly on my screen. Let's move you guys over so you can actually see. Now you see the real messiness underneath. All right, And then I think I'll put an umbrella on the front. I always like to kind of decorate my envelopes in some way. Just kind of makes them pretty. All right, so a little bit of raindrops on the back, and then on the front, maybe we'll just do one little raindrop, and actually, you know what? Let's skip the umbrella and see what else is in that stamp set. Uh-oh, now where did I put it? Oh, there it is, hidden under some dies. I might actually just throw a pair of rubber boots on the front. Oh, hi, Tracy. So nice to meet you. Oh, Laura is the best. She's my cousin, and she is just such a sweet person. I'm so glad that you have her in your life. Yeah. So I guess your weather is just finally starting to turn around there in Edmonton. We are finally getting rain for the first time here. It's been such a sunny April. It's been so nice. But I guess you guys have been pretty cold. So I'm just going to throw some rubber boots on there. And then I might just grab some color and color those in. But I'll decide on that one later because this is just our envelope. All right, so I've got just a little something happening on our envelope. I'm going to set that to the side and come back and finish up this card with you guys. Oh, and I should close up my ink because otherwise I'm going to have a blue hand. So to finish this card, I'm going to grab a piece of Seaside Spray cardstock. And so this is 5.5 by 8.5, and then I scored it at 4 1/4. And that's just basically a half sheet of cardstock. And I've also got some polka dot tulle here. So this polka dot tulle is on back order right now, but you can still add it to your order and it will ship when it arrives. The rest of your order won't be delayed or anything, so don't worry about that. I use a lot of this stuff, and I'm a little bit worried that this might also be disappearing because Stampin' Up! Has a history of revamping all their ribbons every year. Which, you know, is nice for variety and being able to get different looks on cards, but when you fall in love with something like this ribbon, it's going to be really hard to say goodbye. I'm hoping that they bring back some kind of baker's twine with the silver accents again, because that was the thing that killed me last year. Is we still have our white baker's twine. So I'm just going to show you. I tied a knot there, and I did tie it quite tight. And now I'm just going to do some bunny ears and fold them over on each other. This ribbon's got a little bit of a stretch to it, so it allows you to do a lot more with just a little bit of it. All right. So normally I would never try and tie a bow with that little amount of ribbon, but because this stuff's got a bit of stretch to it, it's no problem. And then I just have to trim up the one end. All right, there we go. Okay, so with that done, we've got that. This piece is ready to be attached to our card front now. Oh, good morning, Amanda. So with anything that's been embossed, I tend to either use tear and tape or liquid glue, just so that I get a really firm hold and this doesn't come off, because the texture from the embossing, and then you go and add the fact that I put a ribbon on here. If you try and use snail, it just might not stay on for the long run. All right. Okay, so there we go. Pop that in, and then I'm just using my fingers, made sure they didn't have black ink on them, to rub this down and adhere it to my card front. Then I'm going to grab some dimensionals, and I'm going to put this piece onto my card front as well. So I am always trying to just use up bits. So these are actually the frames from a pack of dimensionals that I'm going to use to adhere this. So I just snip up the edges. The other thing you can do is save these edges, and they're great for making like shaker cards and stuff because you've got one long continuous piece that you can use. So there we go. 4 corners. I didn't bother with anything in the middle because the ribbon's there, and so that'll add kind of extra layer. And well, I almost put those into my coffee. Yikes, shouldn't have my coffee and my garbage bin sitting so close to each other. All right, so that's been put on with dimensionals. That just keeps it up above the ribbon. And then I'm going to grab, I had some mini glue dots out from the paper pumpkin I was working on the other day. Oh, and for those of you who watched my paper pumpkin video and I said I'd get some alternatives, I will. I have a whole bunch of plans. I just haven't had a ton of time to get to it yet. With the kids home and homeschooling and all of that, or remote learning, whatever you want to call it, I'm finding that time to be in my office is not as much as I would like. Okay, I cannot find the ones for my paper pumpkin, so I will just go and grab some others. So I'm going to use just one glue dot on the top of my umbrella, and it doesn't matter that it's kind of too big because this is going to be behind the cards or the DSP anyways. I'm going to use that to attach my umbrella handle to the top. Then I'm going to flip that over, and I'm going to get in here with some dimensionals again. So I'm going to actually use these really skinny parts from the side. I'm going to use that down on the bottom of my umbrella handle. It's actually great that there's those tiny, tiny little pieces because it allows us to get into those small spots. All right, and then I just cut 2, they're there. And then 2 slightly larger pieces for the top of my umbrella. Okay, so all right, peel those off. Come on. And pop those in the garbage. Now I'm going to put this across my card, kind of down low. There we go. And now I'm kind of wishing I had done like a colorful handle, but oh well, that's fine. So there's our card. We could call it complete at this time. It looks great to me. Or if you have the March paper pumpkin, there were those little gel, oh, sorry about that, guys. There were those little gel raindrops. You could throw some of those on. What I'm actually going to do is I've got these frosted and clear epoxy droplets. These are in our catalog, the main catalog, in the embellishment section. And I'm actually going to use these to decorate and just add a little bit of bling to my card. So actually, I'm going to keep them on here. So they're not quite as dainty as the little raindrop embellishments, but do you know what? They're also a lot more visible. I find that those little raindrops, unless you're really inspecting a card, you really don't see them, whereas these stand out just a little bit more. And so just added a few of those. So those are the frosted, and here I've actually just got 2 frosted ones, so you can kind of see the difference between the clear and the frosted. So I used a lot of frosted ones at Christmas time when I was making like snow cards and stuff like that. And now finding I'm using more of the clear ones in this wetter weather to kind of be like raindrops. And that is our finished card. So that's the Under My Umbrella stamp set that I have somewhere. It's a really beautiful one, especially for us Vancouverites. My lights are so awful. So lots of really beautiful sayings. No matter the weather, we're friends forever. And this comes, well, not comes with, but you can order it as a bundle with the punch. And so let me just close that up so you can see that one as well. So yeah, you can grab the punch, the stamp set together as a bundle, and then you'll actually save 10%. But if you're interested in that, don't wait. It is on low inventory, and because it's in the mini catalog. There's no guarantee that they'll actually bring it back or anything, although we will know today because the retiring list is coming out. So that is our little card for today, and I hope you all have a fabulous day. I will see you perhaps on the weekend if the kids give me some time. Otherwise, next Wednesday for my regular Facebook Live. Bye.